All right, now details of the state's investigation in the Senzo Meyiwa murder trial are emerging at the High Court in Pretoria. Sergeant Mchunu, one of the lead investigators, is on the stand. Advocate Manqoba Mchunu says Sergeant Mchunu had no docket when he arrested accused number 2. Manqoba Mchunu does represent accused number 1 and 2. The court is looking into the admissibility of alleged confessions by those 2 accused. Now let's go to Manqoba Mchunu, who's following this story for us. He joins us now live from outside that court. Manqoba, of course, we see the continuation of Sergeant Mchanu's testimony. He's been cross-examined by the advocate for accused number 1 and 2. What has come out of his cross-examination so far?
Well, Masiko, the court hearing that it took police 6 years to charge Bongani Ntanzi, who's accused number 2 in this matter related to the death of Senzo Meyiwa. So you recall, Masiko, that we've heard that Bongani Ntanzi was arrested on the 16th of June in 2020, but the defense grilling Vusi Mchunu on why he was only charged on the 26th of October in 2020. And this is coincidentally 6 years, exactly 6 years after Senzo Meyiwa had been killed. They say that there was already an alleged confession that had taken place, and this could have been prima facie evidence for those charges to be brought. And then they questioned why then the police had taken so long to charge him, and why it had also taken them so long to bring him before court, given that the law is quite clear when it comes to a court appearance. An accused must be charged within 48 hours and must appear in court within that 48 hours. Take a listen to what came out of court.
The next court date was the 22nd of June 2020. Accused number 2 was supposed to be taken to Manqoba Court, not Puking Court.
Like I've already explained, said that there were many cases that we're dealing with, and then Manqoba is very far.
Sir, I'm concerned about 48 hours. I'll get into those cases that you allege accused number 2 was facing. He was arrested on the 16th of June. He was not brought to Manqoba Court as per case number 163 of 10, 2018. Eventually, the 48-hour prescribed period lapsed.
48 hours did not lapse. We decided we're going to place him in false arrest because he also had a case there, because we felt that the Manqoba issue was very far.
It's even worse. Flora's court did not place any matter on the roll.
I do not dispute that, but this is not the first time that we have cases of this type. Yeah, but
and Manqoba, just tell us a bit more. I know that Judge Ratamokgwatleng at some point had to interject about this whole 48-hour appearance and charging issue, but at the same time, Ntanzi was arrested for something else. What was that whole argument about with the 48 hours? What is actually supposed to happen?
Well, Masiko, you recall that when Bongani Ntanzi was arrested, he had been arrested for different cases. So this is the Manqoba murder that he had been accused of back in 2018. And ultimately, he was questioned also on that particular case. There are also other matters. You recall that when he was arrested, they had also found unlicensed ammunition. There's also a drug-related case that emanates from Flora. So the whole question was around why then he was not taken to Manqoba when he had been arrested back in 2019, and why exactly did it take so long for him to actually be charged with related to the Senzo Meyiwa case. We know that already when he was arrested, a day after he was arrested, he was questioned by the police on this particular case, the Senzo Meyiwa related murder, and this is where he had then denied any involvement in that particular case. And of course there were questions that were brought as to why was he not then taken to KwaNongoma, where he was meant to have appeared for that particular case, and the state, or rather Mchunu, indicating that Nongoma was too far, so they decided to take him to court on this particular charge. You recall, of course, Masiko, that this is another bone of contention, when exactly these accused appeared in court, because what the defense seems to assert is that these accused were not taken to court within the 48 hours, and they're questioning really the legality of the process of the arrest of these accused, and up until they've been linked or have been accused and charged when it comes to this case that we are dealing with. So there was another argument, of course, with Mchunu contending that they had in fact followed the law. They had charged him according to the other cases that he was charged of.
You took him out 8:05 in the morning. You brought him back. As per serial number 532 on the 18th of June.
You were essentially the 18th of June
2020.
That's on 20.
Then you brought him back on the 19th of June 2020. At what time?
La Musha got the 19th of June 2020.
At 25 to 3 early hours.
La Musha got 25 to 3. You know say.
Do you agree?
Yes, I do agree.
So, 2:30, I beg your pardon. I wrote 35 instead of 30. It's 2:30.
Yeah, la Musha got 2:30.
Early hours in the morning.
Come on.
If I calculate these hours you spend with accused number 2, it gives me plus or minus 17 hours.
The hours that the hours 17.
Do you dispute that?
I do not dispute that.
And during these ungodly hours, what were you doing with accused number 2 for these 18 hours?
Like I've explained that he had agreed that he was going to take us to his workplace at the mine. We went there.